guarding your energy, right, is a new survival skill. I'm telling you. It's so hard these days, man. There's so many things that are trying to grab your attention, and if you ain't conscious of it and mindful, then you're just going to fall victim to it, right? And if you're ambitious and you've got goals that require maximum amounts of energy, then you simply cannot afford to not be proactive with these things that I'm going to go over in a minute. So I did something in the past 6 months. I've done something that I started to prioritise my energy during the day, right? So I started getting better sleep. I started eating well. Not started, because I've always been on and off with them, but nowhere near as consistent as I believe I need to be to do the things that I want to do in life. Now, one thing that I did absolutely change the game for me massively. I can't even begin to, go into how much of an effect it's had, and that's just deleting social media fully, all of it. All right. Now, terminating my account as well. That's not just like deleting it, because I've done that quite a few times where I've deleted social media and then a few weeks go by or a month or two goes by and I just download it again. No, I actually terminated my accounts, so now my accounts are gone. So there's actually no reason for me to even go back, because I'm not gonna make a new account. That's just long, all right? So when I deleted socials, one thing I noticed after about a week or two, discipline became so much easier, like significantly easier. I have a habit tracker that I make in a little notebook, and it's just tracking the habits that I like to do and the things that I'm trying to stay away from. And what I do at the start of the month, I list all my habits and all the things I want to stay away from, and I basically, down the column of it, I list all the days of the month. So for this month, it's 31 days in it, so it goes all the way down to 31. And it's basically a table. So at the end of every night, I tick the habits that I have done, and if I haven't done them, then I don't tick it. And the idea is, at the end of each month, I'll review it, try and get averages, and then the next month, I'll try and beat that. So it's not extremely rigid in terms of perfectionism, like I need to get 100%, which I struggled with. I did struggle with for a long time. My problem was, and I think this is a big reason why consistency was very hard for me. I would be all in the sense of it needs to be perfect or it's wrong. And then I'd essentially burn out, or not even burn out, I just wouldn't do it. I don't really know how else to describe it. But one thing I noticed is my brain fog was that high, right, and my discipline was that influenced by how I now know it was definitely because of social media and just screen time on my phone in general. But the simple act of ticking it or not ticking it at the end of each day is like the most important thing. If I didn't do the habit, then obviously it's not ideal, but I can just log it as I didn't do it. So then at least next month I can improve because I've got the data to back it. But I was struggling to even do that. Basic ticking. I wouldn't have to. How I used to do it was I used to list out each day, right, this is the habits we want to do. It's too much effort. Whereas like with the table thing, the reason why it's good is because you spend about 15-20 minutes at the start of the month or the end of the month, and then you don't have to focus on that again. You're just ticking it at the end of each day. That's been massive for me. But yeah, I was struggling to do that, and then if you're failing to track it, then the whole thing just becomes pointless. And then again, it's the thing with the perfectionism. I just stopped doing it altogether. But since I completely got rid of it, it's like I just have so much more longevity in the day. Like, in terms of, like, mentality. Like, I have more energy, more decisions to make. And my priorities are a lot easier to stay in order. Well, if you spend a couple of hours on social media, your brain's fried. And even if you do attempt to work on your goal, whatever that might be, whether it's your business, maybe it's a creative endeavour, maybe it's a fitness goal, it's borderline impossible to do it after doing a session of an hour or two on your phone. It's basically impossible. But you already know that. I'm not going to go into that because that's pretty common knowledge. So I'm going to go over the things that zap my energy. There's probably a lot more things, but these are the things that are coming from the top of my head. So I've just established it. So screen time, we can put that in the same category as social media. Absolutely massive. Just fries your head. Number 2, and this is one where if you're not doing it, you can look at it in a way that I can't do that, or that's really hard. But completely staying away from processed foods. All right. Initially it's hard. Right, it is. If you're used to eating shit, then obviously your body's physiologically it's going to be having cravings for it. But after a couple of weeks goes by and you don't eat, the cravings completely disappear. Like I'm not even joking, I don't crave any shit. I eat a full clean foods diet, whole foods diet at the moment. And I've been doing now for, past 6 months. And again, that just adds to the energy. Just the clear thoughts. It's absolutely massive. But eating the processed foods does pretty much the same thing as the screen time. It makes you lethargic, You eat a massive meal that's, processed, even pasta, you're just sluggish after it. The last thing you want to do after eating loads of shit is go and do something that requires a lot of mental energy or a lot of physical energy. You're not going to eat a big bowl of pasta just before you go for a run, are you? Drinking too much, that's absolutely massive. And when I say drinking too much, I mean like once a week. That, to me, is too much. Especially because if you're drinking once a week, it's more than likely obviously going to be on the weekends. And, I imagine you're going out drinking, you're not having a couple of drinks. You're having a lot. You're going to binge. I'm guessing. Maybe you're that type of person who can have a drink or 1 drink, 2 drinks, sorry. Or maybe you can go out sober. I want to be like that. That's something that I'm going to be doing in the future. I'm going to go on a night out next time I do. I'm going to try it sober, see how that goes. Because I think that's a skill. If you can go out sober and it still be enjoyable and still be good, that, in my opinion, that's a skill. That's a skill that's worth building up. Smoking. So even if you're not a proper smoker in terms of like a daily smoker, whether that's vaping, I think vaping's worse than cigs, to be honest with you. I think vaping, it's not been around long enough, but I reckon in about 10-20 years time there's going to be studies coming out that basically prove that vaping is probably well worse. It's probably well worse than cigs, to be honest. If you think about it, think of all the flavours they get and how cheap it is. It can't be good for you. Well, we know it's not good for you. But a little underlying thing here with the smoking, it's not necessarily So I stopped smoking this New Year's, so it's only been 14 days, 2 weeks, and I was smoking a pack every 2 days. Now that's a lot. That is a lot. But what I noticed with the smoking is you don't feel it physically. Well, I didn't anyway. Like I don't feel a change in my energy levels when I'm smoking. It's more of a long-term thing with your health, with smoking. Which obviously it's one of them things where it's too late. By the time you've had a health scare with something from smoking, it's probably too late. Yeah? But here's the biggest thing with smoking. Smoking absolutely bleeds your finances. So I've just said there I was doing a pack every 2 days. Now a pack over here in the UK is £15. So I was doing £15 every 2 days just on cigs. Now actually before I stopped, I went through my bank statements. And seeing how much, just tallied up how much money I spent on cigs in December. And it actually made me feel a bit sick, and I'm definitely ashamed and embarrassed. 250 quid I spent on cigs in December. Now think of what you can do with that money. I know it's not a mega amount, but it is to just fucking piss up the wall. In fact, actually, I think it'd be a better use of your money if you got £250 cash and just lit it on fire. At least then you're not going to have the health problems you get from it. It is just completely pointless. And if you can stop it, if you are smoking, I recommend making this 100%, make this a priority. Just get out of your life. Completely stop it. Sleeping in's massive. Like that, for me, sleeping in fucks everything up. Right, so I thrive off of routine. I need a routine. If I'm not in routine, I don't know what it is. I just can't. I'm just not efficient, which, if I'm not efficient and I know I'm not doing the things that I know I need to do, I'm just not happy. It's as simple as that for me. Now, sleeping in just fucks everything up. Because if you... So you want to ideally wake up at the same time every day and go to sleep around the same time, yeah, every night. Now, obviously, life does get in the way. You're never going to have 100% wake up and go sleep the same time every single day. It's just basically not possible. But you don't really want any more than 1 or 2 days, away from your routine. From that point, it can be really bad, and let me tell you why. So, if you say you wake up 3 hours later than you normally wake up, the time you wake up, all right, tells your body the time you're going to get sleepy, all right? So, if you've woke up 3 hours later, then it means you're going to get tired 3 hours later than you normally go to sleep. Now, here's how it can get bad if you do more than 1 or 2 days. If you do 1 or 2 days when it's off, if it's off routine, it's fixable. But if you start venturing into the 2, 3, 4 days, that's when the body starts to actually adapt to it and think, right, this is the new routine. And then, once you lose track of your sleep, man, I've had so many times when my sleeping's been fucked up. It's so easy to slip into, right? And it does actually require quite a bit of discipline the night before, because the key to it is staying away from your phone for at least 40 minutes before going to sleep. And it is really hard to do that. I struggle with it. I've been disciplined with it though, this year, for the past 2 weeks I've been nailing everything, and I just feel so much better. But it is definitely something that you have to be mindful of. Massive underrated point here now, right? In my opinion, if this isn't in order, then everything else becomes... it becomes impossible to stay consistent past a week, all right? Already we've got quite a few things here that you have to keep track of, right? If you're not organised, that's the next point, being organised. If you're not organised, good luck trying to manage all that. Good luck, seriously. I've tried it for years, on and off. It doesn't work. You need to be organised, all right? And what do I mean by that? I mean organised with your time, all right? Use Google Calendar. If you haven't used Google Calendar, man, learn how to do it. There's so many videos on YouTube. You want to plan most of the time. No, actually, you want to plan every hour of every day, all right, in your calendar. Now, this doesn't mean you're extremely rigid, right? You can move it around in the day if things come up or there's something you want to do. And it also doesn't mean that you're cutting out everything from your life, so you're isolating. No. The things that are important in life, in my opinion, are... Before you put in the time spent on your goals, all right, put in the time that, things that you need to do every day. So sleep, right, that's every day. Work, I'm guessing you've got a job, you go there, when obviously your shift is. Spending time with family, it's massively important, and close friends, massively important. Don't neglect these things, right? You don't fall under the false perception of, got these massive goals, which requires me to be more vigilant with my time, right? Which, yeah, it does, all right? Yeah, we'll have to say no to a lot of things, but if you actually calculate how much time, you're wasting, you'll find out that you've got time after. You've still got time after spending more time on your goals. Trust me, if you calculate everything, all right, you'll see how much time you're wasting, all right? Plan these things ahead, right? You don't want to be neglecting your family and your friends because, number one, what are you trying to be successful for, man? Me, I'm trying to be successful because I want to take care of the people around me, all right? That's a massive, massive driver of why I want to be successful. Okay, so yeah, being disorganized, that's one of them. That's a massive, massive thing. All right. Each day you have a limited amount of mental decisions, all right, in a day. So similar to, you're going to be you're going to be physically fatigued at the end of the day. You're tired. It's the same thing mentally, right? Now the key to this is you want to off-put low-value tasks till the end of the day and bring the high-value tasks to the start of the day when you've got the most energy. Now, what are high-value tasks and what are low-value tasks? Low-value tasks are things that need to be done, but are not gonna propel you forward towards your goals. All right. So think, organising your clothes. What are you gonna eat today? Them sort of things that have to be done, but they ain't gonna move your life forward. And obviously, the high-value tasks are the things that you need to get done to propel you forward in life. All right. So whether that's you've got a business, whether you're doing something creative, the high-value task is doing that thing. All right. That's going to move you forward. So it's not researching it. It's not studying. Them things don't count, right? They're not going to be the number one. You want the number one task at the start of the day, or maybe not the first thing, all right? You might train at the start of the day. It's up to you. But you want to be, first few tasks you want to be spending. You want to be spending your mental clarity on them things that are going to propel you forward, all right? So what I do, all right, is the things like sorting your clothes out for the next day, planning what you're going to eat. Maybe you've got a few things that you have to do. Maybe there are a few errands, all right? Sort that out the night before in your part of your evening routine, all right? So my evening routine is I'll shower, I'll sort out my clothes for the next day, all right? Then I will sort my calendar out for the next day, and I try my best the night before to fill the entire day with things, all right? There's no point in trying to fill every single day up with time, like a week in hand, because things pop up, plans get made. You want to fill that time up the night before, ideally. That's what I do anyway. So yeah, so when I wake up, I'm not thinking, what am I going to wear? I'm going to go gym now. Let me get my gym gear. No, it's already laid out, right? So it's kind of automated. You're not spending you're not spending any energy, mental energy on it, which is massive. It reserves it for the things that are important. It's just about being efficient. Like these things, they seem trivial. No, they don't seem trivial, but they seem a bit over the top, right? But look, man, if you've got things that you want to do, right, these things are a requirement, man. You have to, because the thing is, you're not the only person wanting the thing that you want. All right. What are you going to do if the other person who wants it just as bad as you is doing these things and you're not? You're just going to get left behind, man. All right. Things that are going to maximise your energy. So I just talked about the things that are going to, zap it. All right. Now we'll talk about some things that are going to maximise it. So number one, sleep. Look, you need to be getting no less than 7 hours. All right, 8 hours, 9 hours if you can. Like, it's just absolutely massive difference. You just have more longevity, and you say if you normally start to crash a little bit, get a little bit fatigued mentally about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. If your sleep's consistently in order, you could add a couple more hours onto that and you'll be fresh. Like, it's just, why wouldn't you want that? And clean whole foods diet, massive. All right, carbs for your fuel, your healthy fats for your hormones. So think your testosterone production, all your hormones, and then your protein for obviously your repairment and growth. Right, all three of them massively important. All right, you don't want to be cheating. You don't want to be getting cheap calories in, shitty processed things. Even protein shakes, like. Man, you want to get it from real food, your meats, your animal meats, your veggies, right, your potatoes, your rice, okay, your fruit. Get it from all of them, man. Seriously, don't cut corners on your diet. Seriously, you will. Just try it. If you've never had a whole foods diet, clean, if you've never done it, try it, and trust me, you'll never go back. Right. So, before I wrap this video up, I feel like I've been chatting for a long time now, alright? These things you might be thinking, that's a bit much. Like, that's a lot of things to keep track of, and it is, alright? But, I want you to think now, right, for a good few seconds. Think right now about the outcome of your life. Right, if you don't get a grip of these habits and you don't master your energy, and you let these things pull all your time away, right? I'm sure you have an idea in your head of what life looks like, right? If you don't become disciplined and master this aspect of your life. So think about it. What does that outcome look like? Now, if you like that outcome, by all means, fair enough, man. Like, that's, there's no wrong in that. But if you don't like the outcome, right, I don't like the outcome when I think about it, right, then these things are more than necessary. These things are absolutely crucial. You have to get these done if you want the life that you want. Look, we get one life. As far as I know anyway. We get one life, and as you've probably noticed, right, the days seem to be going by quicker and quicker, right, and they seem to be speeding up. Every year goes by quicker. Look, you're going to look up one day and 10 years has gone by. These things, they're so important. But they're so easy to think they're not, or so easy to lose track. But you need to stay vigilant. You need to stay focused, man. And if you've listened to this is my first video, so I acknowledge that might have been a bit of times with a bit of stuttering or a little bit of losing track of my thoughts. But look, if you've listened to this video and you've extracted any value from it, or you resonate with it, you think the same things as me, similar minds, mate, put in the comment section, please. Tell me your scenario, tell me what you're struggling with if you are struggling. Tell us what you think, alright? Tell us things that you've mastered, that you think would be good in this video to add into it, alright? And also another big thing, if you see a comment, and someone's put something they're struggling with, and you think you've mastered that part, or you've been where they've been, please, man, don't hesitate to give them a reply, give them help. I want this this community eventually to build up into just people who are getting better, but good people, Like, it's not an every man for themselves. It's like, I want to be successful, but I want you to be successful as well. Do you know what I mean? And then hopefully we can build a little community out of it. That's the goal of the channel anyway. Yeah. Look, man, it's already hard, so we need all the help we can get, man.